Welcome to the Locked In Baseball Podcast. This is the 2026 New York Mets season preview. We are in Queens today. How are we doing? There's not much in Queens. I mean, I heard they're building a casino. There's a nice, the airport's right down the street, and U.S. Open. So I think things are on the up and up for the Mets, and the Mets actually spent some money this offseason. William, how are we doing?
Good. We're here in Miami. It is Pi Day, Saturday, March 14th at time of recording. Going to the WBC tonight and tomorrow night. Second time doing this, but I'm doing great. The Mets had the most active offseason in all of baseball. It was a complete overhaul.
That's why I'm wearing the sunglasses. I need to feel a little bit bougie. I feel bougie like the Mets. I mean, they're out here dropping bags. Papa Cohen is making it rain in Queens with the bags.
And Stearns is making it rain in the trade market. The narrative on this team in December, January, fans were panicking. And they figured it out toward the end, I guess. We'll see, though.
I'm a fan of their offseason. Okay. I think you can't take me seriously with the sunglasses. I think I needed to come off, but yeah.
You look like Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
I don't have the hair, but but regardless, the
leadoff home run for Puerto Rico against Italy.
Oh my God! Vibes are up in Puerto Rico. I mean, bank accounts losing money, but regardless, I was a fan of. I was a fan of the Mets off-season this year. I mean, look.
Sorry to interrupt, you always love the big change off-seasons.
But I mean, this team was broken. And I think fans know that in June, the team had the historic collapse that they ended up going in June onward, and they ended up being eliminated by the Miami Marlins in the last weekend of the season, which, William, I know you have the number right there of the historic collapse.
5.5 game lead in mid-June, collapsed down the stretch, going 21-32 in August and September.
I mean, it was just terrible. And I mean, you went out and you got Juan Soto, you got the big ticket kick guy, proving yourself to the league that you're not the little brother to the Yankees and you can, strong arm yourself. But the results showed differently. And I think Stearns and Cohen had to make some changes, had to redo the core, I think. And this team's going to be different, but I do like what they did. I mean, obviously, you're going to feel it with the losses of Pete Alonso. Won't be back, which is kind of one of the big headline pieces that won't be back. Losing Pete Alonso. Edwin Diaz also walked this offseason to L.A. Gregory Soto, Cedric Mullins, Ryan Helsley. A lot of the guys ended up leaving. They were big in the trade market in the July and August. But look, I mean, for what they did, I like this team. I mean, you're going to lead off shortstop Francisco Lindor. I know he's rehabbing the health with the injury.
Yep.
We'll see how that comes back. But you still have Juan Soto, which, I mean, the bat's always going to be there. It's going to be top 3 MVP. And for, as much flack as he got as he started the year with the Mets, he quietly had a decent season. I know.
By his standards.
But I know the expectations are higher because you're the $800 million man. It's going to be higher. But he had a good season. It's just because it's Juan Soto.
Yep.
It's your expectations are higher. Bichette's going to be playing third. We know the bat's going to be their defense. Remains to be seen.
3 years, 126 opt-outs after the first and second season. So he could be a Blue Jay in 2027 if there's baseball.
Jorge Polanco as well was a really good bat, switch hitting bat. He'll be playing first, replacing Pete. Traded for Marcus Semien for Jeff McNeil. For Brandon Nimmo.
Yeah.
That'll be a change.
Yeah.
And then you got Brett Beatty, Francisco Alvarez. They traded for Luis Robert to take over center. And then Carson Benge, who's playing right, had a good spring training. And look, man, I feel like last year's team compared to last year's team, this lineup is a little more complete. Obviously, you don't have that big bat and Pete Alonso, but I feel like, there's more quality spread out between the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting case study. Because clearly the clubhouse chemistry wasn't there last season. I mean, there was just a lot, I guess, different vibes. Maybe Alonso, Nimmo didn't get along with everybody else. McNeil. Who knows? We know that the Mets front office, David Stearns and co., they have to build this team around Juan Soto to keep him happy and have players in that locker room that are going to be friends with Juan Soto, get along with Juan Soto. Pete, it's not a light loss for Mets fans. I mean, he's the all-time home run leader for this franchise. I know it's not like the most storied franchise, but it's still
Whoa, that's a shot right there.
a little shot, a little, but
Yankee bias is coming out right here on the other side of the table right
but
now.
it's a huge loss. I mean, in terms of what he meant to the fan base, I think moving forward, Mets fans should realize that guy is going to be Juan Soto. That's why they brought him in. That's why you gave him almost $1 billion.
I understand. He is Mr. Met. He's one of your own. You grew him. Fans got to see him as a puppy coming up through the minor league systems. And yeah, he walked. I mean, look, that's just how it is. But I do feel like this team was broken. Something needed to change last season. And they overhauled the team. And I think that lineup is better. And I'm just more comfortable in this lineup. And the thing is, we talk about these GMs and front office guys. A lot of them act very reactively. I feel like Preller is one of those guys that's very reactive and is always making the big move. I feel like Stearns, we know his background being from Milwaukee, being the GM and the guy in Milwaukee in the past who has worked with limited budgets and bargain binning and repurposing of a roster. I look at this team and all these contracts are not terrible contracts. So the prices that they got them, yes, they're a little bit inflated, like the Bichette, but it has the opt-out. So Luis Robert deal has that option that they can get out. So it's like if it doesn't work this year, like next offseason, you can go and splash money. I know that's not what you want to do, but there's ways to get out. It's like we get on Boston so much for not spending and for being fiscally responsible. But again, look at the Mets. They're spending and being fiscally responsible in a way where if it doesn't work with these guys, they can get out of the contracts fairly quickly. It's not like they're chained up to a contract long-term aside from Lindor and Soto, which I think we both know those are your two pillars on the roster.
Two pillars. I feel good about Soto's contract for the next – he's under contract for the next however many years. I think at some point he's going to have to move to DH. He's actually making the move to left field this season.
Yeah.
At some point, I know it's a tough thing for like the pride, but if they want to get the best of Juan Soto, like he's kind of a DH waiting to happen. Mm-hmm. Nonetheless, one of the best bats in the league. I wish he was still on the Yankees. Not gonna lie, it still makes me sad that he left. Bichette, I really like Bichette as a player. I love the fact that he was willing to I think it says a lot about his character that he was willing to play second base in the World Series last year after coming back cold from injury, and he had a good series. Hit that huge home run in Game 7. I thought that was going to be the winning home run for the Blue Jays. So I feel good about that signing. It's a lot of money, but it's, again, if he has a decent season, he'll probably opt out. He'll be 29 hitting free agency, 28. The Semien deal, I don't feel as good about that one. 3 years left. But there's some aggression there.
That's what I'm saying. They're all like 3 years max. Like Bichette's 3 years max. Polanco isn't that long. Bichette's 3, like all 3 years. Robert's out. That's the thing. They all get out of him.
They don't have a Giancarlo Stanton-esque contract on this roster.
They don't have an albatross of a contract on this roster, and it lets them be like it gives them ways to spend in the future. And the one thing too is I think we're really underrating about the Mets is that their farm system is really good. Yeah. I know that their farm system struggled in the past, but the farm's really good. Carson Benge, again, he is given the runway to be the right fielder. In camp, he's hitting 370 with a 414 OBP, 444 slug. He's playing really good ball in spring training. Again, giving him the runway to be that guy. And then the pitching staff, I think, is there. I know that there's a lot of projects. Like there's the Clay Holmes project. There's other projects with Kodai Senga trying to get him. I'll talk about him later, how Kodai Senga, they're trying to bring him up. But I am a Nolan McClean believer. Believer. I think he is a stud waiting to happen. From what we saw, the sample size at the end of last season, I think he can be that ace to carry the team in the future. And he is still on a small contract.
He doesn't have that much pitching experience under his belt because he was a two-way player at Oklahoma State in college. I mean, we saw him in the WBC. He started against Italy. It was the one game the USA lost. As of now, we're recording this on March 14th, like we said. I still thought the sweeper has so much break, sweeper slider, whatever you want to call it. I feel good about him. I think he's a good piece. And obviously Freddy Peralta, they made that trade this winter, who I think he's good. I don't think he's a Cy Young caliber player. I think he's kind of a B-tier pitcher. But he's going to be their number one. I wouldn't be shocked if Nolan McClean out pitches him this season.
I wouldn't be either. He had and like I said, and In 8 games that he started, he pitched 48 innings, 57 strikeouts, 1.8 WAR, and he held right-handed bats to 225 batting average and 178 on lefties. I think he has all the tools to improve. And again, he's only like you said, he's only scratching the surface. He's fairly young, and this is gonna be his first MLB year, which
full season. Yeah.
Full season. He's 24. I think the only concern we have on him is that with any young pitcher, like when the data is out on you, like they're going to adjust, and can you handle the workload of 162?
30 starts.
30 starts.
I think that should be, every pitcher's goal is to stay healthy, make 30 starts. With McClean or with the Mets, I know they could probably afford both, but if you're the Mets, I'd rather give that extension to Nolan McClean over Freddy Peralta.
Why not both?
Might be a hot take.
Why not
That's what I'm
both?
saying. They could do both.
They could do both,
Mets.
and that's what I'm saying. It's just like they're set up so financially fine that I don't think the rotation David Peterson I think is solid. Clayton Holmes, we know what the deal is with Clayton Holmes. Sean Manaea.
Manaea, I think, is going to get, sorry to interrupt, I think he's going to get back to that 2024 arm slot. He changed it up last year. It didn't work. He was injured. I think we're going to see a much better Sean Manaea this year.
And the other thing too, I don't think Kodai Senga's broken.
No.
I just think just had a rough. I mean, when it rains, it pours, and that's just how life goes. In the second half of the season, yes, he was giving up a 273 and 373 OBP batting average and OBP against players in the second half. He was just terrible. But I mean, he's improving. He wasn't that bad at the start of the year. In June, he pitched some really good ball, holding people to a 154 batting average and 198 in May. He's not that bad of a pitcher. I just think he just struggled.
And right now, Fangraphs has him as their 6th starter. I think he's going to be good for them. A lot of people have concerns about the Mets rotation. I gotta say, I'm not the only piece of this roster with the Mets outside of just the clubhouse gelling with all the new pieces and maybe a couple of their bats. The only real thing that I would have concern of as a unit is the pen.
Yeah, but I think pens are fixable, as we talked about. And look at Kodai Senga, 139 ERA in the first half and a 6.56 ERA in the second half. In 8 starts. That is totally fixable. Something happened in between, maybe an injury, maybe bad habits got built up. And again, when it rains, it pours. When teams start losing, you build up bad habits, and you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And look, the Mets, we talked about how bad they are in the past, but I mean, they still got Jonah Tong coming up. He's gonna be in AAA starting out the year. I think there's a lot to like about the Mets. And look, like you said, with bullpens, I think there's ways with analytics and data that you can find players on bargain bin contracts and find a combination that works. We've seen a lot of Yankee influence come in with their coaching staff, a lot of Yankee influence come into this team, and the Yankees have done a really great job, those pitching staffs and team to find those gems. We saw them find Clay Holmes, we saw them find guys like Mike Tauchman to come in and do that, and we've seen pitchers come in through the system, and I feel like the Mets are going to have a great pitching system and find gems that we don't know.
Their 8-9 is Weaver Williams, which is basically what the Yankees had last year. We know Williams as basically blew the Yankees division last year. I think he'll be better than he was last season. He was good down the stretch for the Yankees, probably our best reliever. Brooks Raley, Luis Garcia, Huascar Brazaban, Brian Hudson, Tobias Myers, which they got in the Freddy Peralta trade. It's undoubtedly the weakness of this team is the pen. No Edwin Diaz, no Ryan Helsley, who wasn't that good for them.
But again, financial flexibility. Would you pay Edwin Diaz the money he got if you're the Mets? Just think about it. I just think the decisions that they make so much sense. They're just they're so smart, and it's how you should do it. I'm not going to pay what was it, 3 years by 69 to Edwin Diaz for a team that the Mets yes, they do have World Series aspirations, but are they close? I don't think they're close, but not there yet. They're knocking on the door.
You don't think they're? Because I was thinking, what if this is just the year that the Mets just finally do it?
They could, but I think they're just you don't pay top closer money if you're not there.
Well, they can always just do that at the deadline.
Exactly my case in point. You could go get a Josh Hader deal at the deadline. You can go do that if he's healthy. Yeah. Or you can go to a team that flames out. Maybe if Atlanta, no, but if San Diego flames out and they need to rebuild the war chest.
Trade Mason Miller again?
Trade Mason Miller or trade Robert Suarez.
He's on that.
No, not Robert Suarez. What's the other guy?
Adrian Morejon?
No, they had another guy.
Jason Adam?
No, they did.
Jeremiah Estrada?
I think it's Estrada.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's just so many ways to skin a cat, as I've been saying this weekend, and I just think the Mets all the decisions that they do, they just make a lot of sense. Like, please, if you're playing mock GM, would you take all these contracts at like the small commitments?
I don't want to bring this up, but we did our worst contracts draft last year in August, and your first pick was Juan Soto.
Well, I mean, just because how it's going to age.
But
I'm saying it's just like you get out of Robert, you can get out of Clay Holmes next year.
They brought in Robert. They saw their lineup and they said, we don't have enough strikeouts in this lineup. Let's bring in Luis Robert. We need some more strikeouts.
But the upside is there.
I know the upside is there. He's been on just mostly terrible White Sox teams for the last 5 years. Change of scenery. I think it'll be good for him. And he's played in big market before, obviously, with Chicago.
Say Bichette has a good year, you're at a $42 million right there. Say Robert is just terrible, you're at a $20 million. It's 62, you're at 62. Clay Holmes goes berserk as a starter, you're at a $12 million. He can get that Ty-O money that we're talking at the $20 million. So there's 12. You're already looking at 32. You're looking at $74 million that you're off the books. And then you have AJ Minter at 11, Freddy Peralta at 8, Brooks Rowley at 4 and 3/4. Like,
they got a lot of money coming off the books. The payroll's at 364 right now. We don't know what next year's financial structure is going to look like with the new CBA coming. But yeah, it's a good point that they could lose some players, shed some salary.
Frankie Montas money comes off the books next year too. They got
God.
rid of that $17 million. I'm just saying, a lot of the decisions that they make a lot of sense. I do understand why you don't pay Pete Alonso. I know it hurts.
Yeah,
I get it.
I like that. It's funny because I like the deal for the Orioles and for them, and I also think it makes sense for the Mets to get rid of him or not bring him back. They didn't even offer him a contract.
That's the thing with Edwin Diaz. I like them not keeping Edwin Diaz at 3/69. I like it, but then again, because for them it doesn't make sense, and I like it for the Dodgers.
Because they're the fucking Dodgers.
Because they're on the doorstep, and that's the thing.
Well, the Dodgers are I would say the Dodgers are in the penthouse.
I would say the Dodgers are there. They're just like,
yeah, they've won 2 straight World Series.
Yeah,
They're on the penthouse. They're on the top. They're on top of the mountain, and then they just got richer. The Mets are with the bouncer right now. They're showing their ID. They're trying to get him back in the club.
Yeah, I can see that. Look, the lineup's going to be good. I do feel like this lineup's going to be very, very good. I feel it's better, and I think the rotation's being slept on.
Where does Juan Soto finish in MVP voting this year?
Second.
Wow. Okay. Where did he finish last year?
Third. It was between Schwarber, Soto, and...
Oh, that's right.
Schwarber, Soto, and Ohtani. And I think he finishes second just because Ohtani still exists.
Yeah.
And I feel this offseason, I do feel like, again, WBC hype. DR's playing great ball. He also has a offseason of no distractions.
Yeah.
Last year, it was the distractions of, like, where are you going? And the year before then, it was like, oh, we're probably going to get traded. This is like Juan Soto's like first actual offseason where he's like not dealing with any drama. It's like pure family and baseball, which I think that suits Juan Soto really, really well, as we know him to be. And I know Juan Soto's always balled and been really good in these circumstances, but this is like actual no drama. You got your money, you're chilling, nothing to worry about.
And you got the good experience of the DR playing like playoff games in March.
He's always played playoff games. That's never been the question.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but there's just no drama. There's just no drama anymore with him. It's just like, it's just chill. It's like the first time that he like in a while where it's just like his future's settled. He can just focus on ball and chilling with the fam, and that's what he cares about. If we knew anything, so
43 playoff games, 927 OPS.
Yeah,
he was a perfect Yankee because Judge is not a playoff player historically. Judge was last year, but he was the perfect 1A, 1B.
And that's what I'm saying, and that's why he'll finish second. And don't be careful if he's a sleeper number 1.
Yeah, I think Cashman. If the Yankees don't win another World Series in the Cashman tenure, he'll regret not. Well, I guess he tried to give it, but Steinbrenner might regret not giving that contract.
I'm just saying, like, let's stick with the Mets. I'm just saying, the lineup suits him perfectly, and I just think it's going to be a great year for Soto. And I would sprinkle money on Juan Soto for MVP.
Last point on the Cohen would have done one up whatever offer Steinbrenner put. If Steinbrenner gave him $1 billion,
But that's,
Cohen would have done
but
$1
that's,
billion and
but
one.
that's 2025, my
I
boy.
know. I'm just saying.
That's
It's still one of the most interesting. Free
it's
agency
2025,
sagas.
and this is the Mets. We need to stop living.
It's 2026.
Yeah, but it's again. We're living in 2025.
Because the Yankees are living in 2009 because we haven't won anything since then.
And the facts are that the Mets right now, I could see in a world where the Mets are the best team in New York this year.
Yeah.
Because the pitching might not be as good as the Yankees, but it will be up there. But the lineup might be better. Than
Subway
the
Series,
Yankees.
World Series.
No, because we know the Yankees lineup will just shit the bed.
Let's compare the Mets to the rest of the division. The contenders.
Okay, so let's do it. I'm taking the Mets rotation over every rotation in that division, but the Phillies.
Yeah,
And it's still close because if Nolan McClean turns out to take the jump, I think Nolan McClean and Freddy Peralta is better than Aaron Nola and Christopher Sanchez.
Aaron Nola. I mean, you mean Zach Wheeler?
Well, Zach Wheeler is hurt right now.
And Nola was good in the WBC. Was terrible last season.
Luzardo, and the thing was, and also they have Luzardo who just got paid. The thing is that the Mets, the Phillies have more quality within the rotation. The Mets is still a question mark.
Yeah.
So I can see the Mets number 2.
I still think they're better than the Phillies. I do.
In the rotation department?
No, just team.
I'm looking at rotation right now.
If rotation specifically, I still give the edge to the Phillies, but the Mets could outplay them over the course of the season.
I think the Mets lineup could be better than the Phillies, which I don't want to step on the Phillies preview.
Yeah.
But we have clear concerns with the Phillies.
Yeah.
And this is why I could see the New York Mets being the NL East champions this year. And it wouldn't surprise me that Juan Soto finishes second in MVP voting or first. I could see a world this year where it's Soto, Skeens, Ohtani, or some combination of that.
You know what I like about this Mets lineup? No bad, weird vibe Team USA guys. I feel like
no drama.
The narrative around the Team USA guys is just so negative right now heading into the season. Like Bryce Harper specifically, I think of him. Judge, maybe not. Cal Raleigh, we can't. Think of the WBC has done so much damage to those guys' PR, in my opinion.
Yeah, but again, this is the Mets, and I do like this lineup.
I'm saying the Mets don't have any of that.
I know that, but it's just a good lineup.
And the Phillies do. I'm not saying that's going to impact the season at all. It's just interesting. The vibes matter.
Vibes matter. I like the team.
What about lineup? Better than the Braves?
Yeah.
I don't think their lineup is better than the Braves. I think they're a better team.
Juan Soto or Acuna?
Acuna.
Soto.
If healthy.
Yeah, because Acuna runs bases.
Yeah.
And defensively, but Soto.
Matt Olson or Jorge Polanco.
Well, that's
Austin Riley or Bo Bichette.
Well, Austin Riley is a big question mark.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just Austin Riley and Bo Bichette. That might be a push. And then you look at Marcus Semien or Ozzy Albies. I'm taking Semien over Albies, and then you're taking Francisco Lindor over who? Lindor over Olson. Lindor or Olson is more of the
Lindor.
Exactly.
He's the best shortstop of this century, which is crazy to think about.
So I mean, look. For the Mets, I have really high expectations for them. I really am buying Mets stock, buying it cheap as it's probably at its lowest price.
It's not low. I mean, their over-under win total is 90.5.
Yeah, but I was buying it in the offseason when it was low, when they were doing these moves. At first, I was critical, and I'm like, all right, I see.
See the vision.
I see the vision. It's 80. They won 83 games, 83 and 79 with a historic collapse. I'm taking the over.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to go again on that collapse. I think there's too much bad taste in the mouth. And I feel like they have new energy and new aura in that clubhouse to change the narrative.
I'm over. I think they win the division. I think they win the division by 3 to 5 games. I think we could see a rematch of the 2024 NLCS this year. Dodgers, Mets.
Yeah.
I can see
I would love that from a baseball purist and a fan. From a casual perspective, I'd love it. New York versus LA. And from actual diehard, I think that's probably the best matchup you have.
Yeah.
I'll hold till future podcasts, my takes.
On the Phillies?
On other teams that we're going to talk about.
All right.
Debating.
That's the Mets. We're both over. Only 3 more to go. Phillies, Mets, and Yankees. Sorry, Phillies, Yankees, and Dodgers. That's all we got. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you tomorrow. Peace out.